This is a short recording just to show you how to use Double Dummy Solver to analyze your results and play on BBO or any online event where you can get the PBN record of the play. I'm delighted to say that Liz McGowan, Scotland's first entrant to elected member to the EBL Hall of Fame, has allowed me to use her BBO results for May for this demonstration. I'm sure I won't embarrass her too much. So let's start by downloading Liz's results. So we go to the download results and we put in the BBO username, and the month of May is what I'm doing this time. You can load up to 6 months previously. I actually download my own results every month religiously, so I keep a whole record because they will disappear off BBO as they're archived. So we click on Get Results, and it uses your browser to download the results, and it will then save those results. As you can see, DDS actually has a bug at the moment. I'm working with the developer to try and fix that, in that it's not downloading the results correctly into the right place. But what it does create, it does actually download all the results and it stores them in a DDB file. And you see I've had a few attempts here. So we're going to load up the latest one, and then it'll convert that into a normal database. And this will overwrite the one I've got. What it does first time it runs after you've downloaded all the results is it picks up all the files, all the hands, and it creates the database which will have all the dummy results. It'll then calculate the double dummy leads and give you a database that we can work with. So that's now finished, and it shows us the first hand. With the alerts that were made. This was Liz playing with her regular partner Fiona against Robert and John. So what I'm going to do first of all is filter the deals. So we get this little message. If we click on the partners tab, we can see that Liz has played with a lot of people this month, mainly with Fiona, a fair number of hands with John Murdoch and Gintz, and then a lot of hands with two people. So I'm guessing she played in an individual on BBO or something like that. So I'm going to restrict this to just the hands she plays with Fiona, because they're likely to be slightly more serious. So I click on the include button here. If I recalculate, it'll show me just those 72 hands. So I can go to final contract, and it shows me how many Liz played, how many Fiona played, how many the opponents played, shows me what level of contract they were, and how many up and down. It shows me that actually Fiona got 2.8 imps per board, Liz only 2.3, and very often you'll run these comparisons and the logical conclusion is you should always let your partner play the hands rather than you. This may vary month by month. It's just a matter of working this out. So what I'm going to look at is the hands that Liz declared. So she declared 21. And if I go to par result, I'll see that on 9 of those 21 hands, she did better than she would have done if she was playing and looked at all the hands first. And similarly, she did worse than if she'd looked at all the hands first, and the defense had looked on the same number of hands. And this is one of the issues of using a double dummy solver, is it can see all the hands and you can't. So if we go down, we can see down to the bottom that of the 21 hands that Liz played, she played 10 of them perfect double dummy, or at least to the double dummy result. We'll have to go through the hands to actually find out whether she actually played them perfectly. She underplayed double dummy 4 times, and the defense did worse than they could have done on more occasions. So maybe we'll look at some where Liz underplayed double dummy. So We'll just look at those. We'll click on scoreboard and those 4 hands will now appear. And we can see the 4 hands, we can see the 4 contracts. A couple of occasions she didn't make the over tricks that were all available. Always good reasons for that. She went 2 down when she could have gone 1 down, looking at all the hands. But we're going to look at the first one. So I'll double click on that. And you'll see some of the aspects of double dummy solver here. So the East player is on lead. The card she actually leads is highlighted in green, but also every card is marked with a number in either green or red. If it's in red, then the contract's going to go down if everybody plays perfectly after you lead that card. If it's in green, then declarer can make over tricks. And in this case, on the 7 of hearts lead, Liz has the opportunity to make 3 hearts plus 1, make 10 tricks. So we can click on actual trick and it will show us the trick as it goes. And Liz ducked it, and it doesn't matter what West leads at this point, Liz can still make an over trick. So they return to trump. At this point in the hand, we can see, looking at the south hand, all the clubs are marked with a red 1. So if Liz led a club at this point, then the defense could break the contract by 1 trick. But obviously that's not something that Liz would be considering. She's thinking about how to make the hand. And the best way to make the hand is to play on spades and hope you find them lying favorably. So she leads a spade to a king and then a spade back to the 10. Fortunately loses the jack. The defense, as you can see at this point, still playing for 1 over trick. So they lead a trump back, that does no damage. And Liz roughs the spades good. And now, as long as she avoids the king of diamonds lead, which looks fairly easy to do, she's either going to make an over trick or the contract. Now, I think at this point it's probably better to lead the jack of clubs rather than the 9. But Liz at this point, she took the club finesse, and we can see that all of the West cards are now marked in blue with an equal sign, meaning whatever they do at this point, Liz is going to make the contract, but she's lost her opportunity to make an over trick because she took the club finesse. Again, Liz can't see the cards, and this is something, again, you have to remember when you're doing this. So on the next trick, if I click actual play, it'll just give me the 1 card. We've come to the crunch point of the hand, and Liz has already lost 3 tricks. So it's hard to see without any entries to dummy how she can make this contract unless she plays the king of diamonds at this point. Essentially, she then played West into either returning a club and establishing the suit or leading away from the ace of diamonds. So at this point, Liz should have risen with the king of diamonds, and then she can establish dummy for the rest of the tricks except for the ace of clubs. Unfortunately, Liz fell from grace, as we often do online, and by ducking that, she was then resigned to going 1 down, losing a club and a diamond, or losing 2 diamonds or a club and a diamond at this point, because she's only got 2 discards on the spades. So that's one way you can use DDS to actually examine your performance. As I said, the other thing, I'm going to clear this page, and actually I'm going to go back to the final contract, and I'm going to clear this page as well, and we'll just what I'll include are Liz's and Fiona's contracts where they play the contract. And then I'm going to go to par result, and we see that they missed 4 small slams. So let's include those, and then we'll go to the scoreboard and we'll see those 4 slams that they've missed. And maybe we'll just look at the first one and decide whether they were culpable or not. Well, they've got 16 opposite 10 points, so 26 points. So it's clearly going to be difficult to bid a slam because you don't have enough points. And as you can see, Fiona's values are opposite Liz's shortage. That's always a warning sign. And if you look at this hand, actually we need spades 2-2, so to make it, and we probably might need something else good to happen. No, we're probably making it if spades are 2-2, as long as something bad doesn't happen. As it happens, spades aren't 2-2, but the queen of clubs drops. So you can make 12 tricks, and indeed Liz did make 12 tricks, but it's not a slam that you would want to be in, and it's certainly not a slam that you would want to penalise North-South for not being in. And this is why using par results, i.e. the best that everybody can do if they can all see the hands, is quite dangerous. It's a good way of highlighting things to look at. I mean, we've got all the slams that they've missed here over the month. And I mean, here they didn't even bid game because Fiona opened 1 spade, as certainly I would with this hand. And on the next hand, again, minimal values. Things just lie right. You need the diamonds 3-3. It's not a slam you want to be in. And on the final one, a lot of alerts. So South has opened a mini no trump. Well, that always makes it quite difficult to bid a slam. But again, you don't have the values for slam. And indeed, they didn't make 12 tricks anyway. But again, I mean, they've missed 4 small slams, but none of them are slams that you'd want them to bid. So again, you've got to use what the tool is good at, is allowing you to examine the hands that are of interest. And that's the best way to use it. I wouldn't be using it to criticize their slam bidding performance. In fact, they seem to have done very well in May because they haven't bid any poor small slams that didn't make. So that's pretty good. So that's a quick introduction to DDS. I hope that's been interesting.